using cookies and account information, merely to offer relevant text ads. Google can create incredibly detailed dossiers on every one of us. A former CIA agent claims that Google is cooperating undercover with the US government, including the CIA. Though appearing to simply want the best for its users, Google has already begun to expand its online domination. Total control, and not merely on the web. Google is conducting research in the fields of molecular biology and genetics. What if Google had a file on you, even including your entire genetic data? Every human being would become completely transparent. What do you think? Does Google really worry about our privacy?
Alright folks, we are back and we are live. Stay tuned for more stimulating talk radio right here on The Cutting Edge. You can contact us by emailing digitaladdiction@gmail.com, message us on Skype at digitaladdiction, or visit the blog at digitaladdiction.wordpress.com. Okay, Darko, let's pick up where we left off and back to chemtrails and weather modifications.
All right, thank you, Delta. Yeah, we were just talking about cloud seeding as one form of weather modification and how it was a very, very old way of causing it to rain, the rain, and possibly even moving hurricanes. Although the hurricane part, according to the research that I've done, they haven't had much success with the hurricanes, but you never know with that, right? Because you always hear conflicting stories about how it works and how it doesn't work. So, like we were saying in the last segment, you need to dig in and start doing your research on this. But we're gonna keep trying to cover as much as we can with all the information that we've collected for you. We were just talking about contrails and chemtrails and this what I believe is a ridiculous theory that these are contrails, and not just contrails, but now it's persistent contrails that we're seeing up in the sky that form these tic-tac-toes and X patterns and all sorts of pretty designs right over your head. And a lot of people they want to know what this is. They go online, and if you were to type it in, you get a Wikipedia definition of all that. They would say, oh, it's a theory. So it's still a theory and it doesn't exist. So our goal here is just to help this theory become a reality. So let me give a brief definition here for some information that I have on what a contrail is and then what a chemtrail is. For a contrail, it says or vapor trail are basically artificial clouds that are visible trails of condensed water vapor made by the exhaust of aircraft engines. As the hot exhaust gases cool in the surrounding air, they may precipitate a cloud of microscopic water droplets. If the air is cold enough, this trail will comprise tiny ice crystals.
Just like your car exhaust.
Right. And it says, depending on atmospheric conditions, contrails for only a few seconds or minutes, and then this is what it says, or may persist for many hours. And it says, at high altitudes, this water vapor emerges into a cold environment, and the local increase in water vapor can push the water content of the air past the saturation point. The vapor then condenses into tiny water droplets and deposits into ice. These millions of tiny water droplets and or ice crystals form the vapor trail or contrails. The vapor needing to condense accounts for the contrail forming behind the aircraft's engines. So they're going to stick to this as far as sources when you go online, that contrails persist for many hours. In fact, I've had many YouTubers give video responses to some of the videos that I've posted, and they'll show me footage. A lot of it's from of planes, with persistent contrails. But I have my own theories to that as far as them having that old footage. Because honestly, I think that the footage that they're giving me is just the government research footage, stock footage from the 70s, or when they were cloud seeding. So that's all I think it is, and so that really doesn't build too much credibility with me. But yeah, it says exhaust vapor trails or contrails usually occur above 8,000 meters or 26,000 feet. And I don't know about you, but I've seen these contrails that they call them. I want to say conservatively 5,000 to 10,000 feet up in the air. I mean, it's not that high, and I mean it was right over my house, and I've been to other people's houses right over their house. So, and it will sit there for 3-4 hours, but. Yeah, so before we go to break here, I'm just going to cover what a chemtrail is and how it's defined on online sources. It says explanations range from chemtrails used in military communication applications to scientific experiments designed to control the weather, thwarting global warming, or relieving droughts. Scientists claim that the two most common substances being sprayed into chemicals are aluminum oxide and barium stearate. Says when you see planes flying back and forth, marking parallel lines, X patterns, and grids in a clear sky, that's aluminum oxide, according to the scientists. The goal is to create an artificial sunscreen to reflect solar radiation back into space to alleviate global warming. In some cases, barium for the purpose of, quote, high-tech 3D radar imaging. The barium can be used for a, quote, wire to shoot an electromagnetic beam through to take 3D images of the ground far over the horizon, according to scientists. And so you have the barium, which is being sprayed so that they can read it on radar, and they're using the aluminum oxide to reflect solar radiation back up into space. And of course, if you're doing cloud seeding, that's almost like a different thing. But these are the particles. These are the chemicals that they're putting in these trails. A scientist working at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, who insisted on anonymity, told ColumbusAlive.com in 2001 that 2 different secret projects have been conducted. One involved cloud creation experiments with global warming. The other involved radiation reflection off clouds in conjunction with the military's High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, or HAARP, in Alaska. Thomas, writing the November-December 2001 issue of Nexus New Times magazine, essentially confirmed this assessment of the activities at the Dayton Air Base. Quote, the barium spread in exercises conducted out at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base acts as an electrolyte, enhancing conductivity of radar and radio waves. That was Thomas that reported that, and it says Wright-Patterson, the Air Force Base, has also long been deeply engaged in HAARP's electromagnetic warfare program, and this is from ColumbusAlive.com. And so I believe we're going to be going to break here soon. Do you want me to keep going on this, Delta, or?
Actually, we have a listener comment. Did you see that?
Oh, no, I didn't. I'm sorry. I was just going through all this stuff, and it says, oh, I read about the use of the iodide, or whatever they were using it for the hurricanes, but was completely ineffective.